Is it week 4 already? Yeah, week 4. Yeah. Past results are not an indicator of future performance. Just because somebody lucked out spending $100 does not mean anybody should, right? All right. Uh, hello YouTube land, as well as all those that are here live on Twitch. Just a couple of new stuff this Friday. There's a 7-day login. You get 1 focus ticket. Actually 2, because on the 7th day you get another focus ticket. So make sure you log in every day and enjoy the free stuff. Focus supply. We'll take a look at the off rates here in a bit, but ELYSIA gear for H2O, HERRSCHER of Human Ego Origin, and Silverwing gear. Probably skip for most players, but some of y'all who only played the game for ELYSIA, you might be more inclined to roll for a Focus A. Expansion supply for ELYSIA. We'll go take a look at that too. ADV for Silverwing, I can tell you right now, the majority of high spenders that played on her original release probably already have her at SS+. She will be coming up soon on a future battle pass, and her stamps are available in option boxes for the top-up event and stuff too. So this is kind of aimed at impulse spenders and newer players that are trying to whale in this game. We'll go over the rules and stuff about it and why you should not roll if you're a lower budget or F2P. 7.0 beta test. Good luck if you're applying. Luminous Prayer. Oh boy, got a lot to say about this one, huh? Alright, let's go take a look. Let's go take a look. Let's start with Luminous Prayer. My advice: do your free pull and just don't. Right? Do your 1 free pull and just don't. You could get really lucky, or you just don't. So Shade of Midgar was saying that one of the better case scenarios was that, you know, one of the other Honkai Discords that he was in, somebody spent $100 and they made 6K worth in supply tickets, and they got 2 HERRSCHER of Origin and 1 Vilv card. That's an extremely lucky scenario. Alright, just because somebody else did it does not mean that you should try it. The drop rate is extremely low. There is no 10 drop guarantee. And you only get stuff from buying bundles, right? You get your 1 free pull and then the rest require buying bundles. So 6.9% nice for a supply card. And you do get more prayer slips as you pull. So there is a possibility you kind of like, you can just be recycling prayer slip cards. Now, just don't. Just don't. Do your 1 free pull and then dip out. Let's take a look. Yeah, SS Imaginons. Sounds about right. Alright, just don't. Like, if you like burning your money, and you just like setting your money on fire, okay, maybe, but just don't. If you're really itching to pull, like, okay, maybe do some pulls here in expansion or something. Don't spend money here in Luminous Prayer. Just don't. Oh my god. Expansion banner, pretty self-explanatory, right? It is the back half, and there's a good chance that if you're on SCA, ELYSIA might come back up during a Foca Expo. Global, I'm anticipating that our Foca Expo will be around December, right around between Christmas and New Year's. I know there's a lot of players that really like ELYSIA, so you know this is an opportunity. Do I think you should roll? No, I think you should save for next patch, personally. But for some of you that have been waiting a long time for this character to come back on banner, you know, this is an opportunity to do so. So you know, take it as you will. Some nice Himiko in the event, right? Some of y'all played through the Terry event and you're Himiko excited. Luna Kindred in the event. So the A ranks are farmable. They're all old meta. Himiko herself useful for Blood Dance carrying. Luna Kindred is in Elysian Realm, so you know, building up your Luna Kindred, you can farm some crystals there. For the most part, you know, those that were gonna pull probably were gonna pull anyways. If you weren't planning on pulling for HERRSCHER ELYSIA here, I would just save for next patch. And we'll go over ADV. We'll go a little bit out of order because the ADV... I want to reiterate that ADV doesn't have a pity that carries forward. So for some of y'all, it might make sense to do like 30 pulls to get enough stamps for one breakpoint. Or like if you're like me, I would only need 20 pulls and I would get to the next breakpoint, because I had leftover fragments from previously. But do keep in mind that we've had opportunities to get stamps from other means, like top-up events, and then, you know, she'll be on Battle Pass in the next season. DA time, humor me. So, what Kronos in the chat is saying, some of y'all may try to do 110 pull and see if you can luck sack the card. But what did we say at the beginning? Past results is not an indicator of future performance, alright? I've gotten lucky in the past. On at least 2 ADV banners, we did one single 10 pull and we've got a card. Should you do that though? How risk averse are you? What is your personal risk assessment? You know, if you're floating a lot of crystals and or you have the monthly budget to, you know, top up 50 to 100 bucks on this game and be still financially okay, you know, it's probably not that big of a risk to do 110 pull. But if you're in that position, chances are you already have her at double S, or at least, like in my case, I have her at S1. Just show the clip and humiliate me. Alright. No. People watching on YouTube can find it. People watching on YouTube can find it. This is Dea Ancora. We'll watch it at the end. We'll watch it at the end. We'll watch it at the end. But yeah, you know, it might make sense for those of you that are just short 10 or 20 fragments or 25 fragments if you do, you know, 20 or 30 pulls. But yeah, if you're trying to unlock Silverwing from this banner, expect to go at least like 70 to 100. Because if you go 70 pulls in to get a card, you might as well finish out the stamps and get your double S, right? But you're basically already assuming to spend quite a bit of money here. Would I recommend it? No. I just don't. Unless you're gonna brute force the banner with the power of your wallet with your credit card, just don't. Basically, for FTP and low budget players, I just wouldn't. Okay, let's look at gear. If you're pulling for ELYSIA gear, chances are you might be missing like 1 or 2 pieces from a previous banner. And you've already decided now's the time you're gonna try to get those missing pieces. There is a wishing well. There's a wishing well, so if you get duplicate copies, you can use those duplicate copies. You can see here I have a duplicate B piece, but I need to keep that B piece. Now, very important with wishing well, you can toggle this on or off. So like, if the toggle is on, it's to prevent you from utilizing your only copy, your last copy, right? But you can toggle off. Basically, at least one for each position means you can only use one dupe of a different type. You couldn't use like double of the bottoms. Now, if you turn it off, then you can use double bottoms. Generally speaking, you're probably gonna need to turn it off. So, cause like sometimes you get 3 dupes of the bottom piece and you need the M piece, you know, something like that. All right, let's take a look at the off rates. Key of Castigation, old meta. Falcon Flare, hey, that's Silverwing's weapon. Hecate's Gloom, old meta. Nebulous Duality, medium old meta. Still useful, but definitely old. This weapon's from 2022? 21? This is the prior. Well, the weapon itself is from 2020, but the priarm was later. Iris of the Dreams, also a 2020 weapon. Midnight Eclipse, actually 2022. And then Key of Ego from last year. The weapons are not looking that great. Falcon Flare has some niche utility. Hecate's Gloom has some niche utility, but the problem with a lot of these is that a lot of them, basically, you need to priarm for them to be useful. Like Hecate's, Nebulous, and Iris, you have to priarm them for them to be really useful, and those materials are really precious. A lot of the strategies around this is kind of like for progression accounts, maybe. But if you're on a progression account, usually the advice would just be, you know, hold on to those materials that you otherwise would be spending to upgrade these weapons, and then hold them for the new stuff coming down the pipeline. Now, if you're really, you know, emotionally invested in characters like Teresa Apocalypse, or you're a Fuhua fanatic, you know, or a Rita stan, and you really want to build the old meta battle suits like Twilight Paladin, or you know, Azure Imperia, Fallen Rosemary, farmable all the way to Triple S, and also next patch, Fallen Rosemary is going to be farmable with willpower only, no longer requiring legacies. You know, I think like a lot of new players actually just get an option box with Iris, so I don't know. The weapons are not looking that good for me. Stigmata though. So Silverwing's gear also exists here. So they're really trying to get you to invest in on that ice stuff. Holmes is still nichely good on the Susanna teams. Ragna TB you can use, or Ragna as a whole set you can use kind of as a filler until you get your G4 online, and on a handful of fire characters it actually was performing a little bit better, right? Linnaeus, Mobius gear, but you can use as a placeholder for lightning. I feel like the Stigmata is less bad, but this banner is not that attractive to me. I would say like maybe if you didn't have a lot of these weapons, and you know, if you're on a newer account, like where any Stigmata and any weapon would be somewhat useful, you might get more value out of it. My overall impression is you should just be saving for next patch at this point. These off rates are not looking too good. Falcon Flare, there was a point in time where we were using Falcon Flare Priarm on Haxor Bunny. Bronya next, M-Piece is now somewhat superseded by HTR, HERRSCHER of Truth, Bronya's Bronya M, which is better on any Bronya than Bronya next on Silverwing. So sadly, we are not even using the M-Piece anymore. Now it's just top and bottom with Bronya's HIM. That's the power of unique multipliers. Alright, take a look at the weapons and the Stigmata. New Eye of Shadow, old meta. Zither, old meta. And it's in the exchange shop. Nuada's Grief. Oh, where are the Fuhua stands? Nuada's Grief is really cool, but also really old meta. And I believe it should be an exchange shop. Can't remember if it is actually or not. Scythe Lance. Oof. Path to Acheron for Sele enthusiasts, which should be an exchange shop too. Might not be. You can check on your own, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. Alair's Serenity. This one I know is an exchange, but it's also the worst lance out there. And then Mitternox for official. Good to have one copy, you know. Wow, look at that! Pristine Elf ELYSIA TMB. This should be the physical one, right? No, Pristine. Hold on. Pristine is the HERRSCHER one. I'm forgetting things. I'm getting old. So this is nice. You can kind of roll here and get H2O gear. Murata Yumiko for Flame Scion. But they just put all the old HERRSCHER gear here. And then Vern for Starchasm Nyx. This just doesn't make any sense. Vern is craftable. Benares is cool for collection. The artwork's beautiful. And then the Himiko set is mainly uniquely for Flame Scion, although you can sort of use the MB on Blood Rose and on Vermilion Knight. I just don't think most players should roll on this banner. I feel like the only players that could justify rolling on this banner are players that are just gonna brute force the banner. I feel like that should apply for both of these banners, right? Like if you're gonna brute force both of the banners to get to what you want, okay. I feel like Focus A, once you get the weapon, you can kind of look for alternative gear and try again on a future banner. But the off rates are not that good looking. The off rates just, a lot of it's really old. The flip side is if you do get them, like you can hang on to them for that one copy, or you know, you can convert them to rezos. Some of them still have niche utility where, like, if you're on a progression account, I probably wouldn't convert them. But for a lot of veteran players who've been playing for the last 3 to 4 years, chances are we have at least one copy of each already. It's a bit disappointing looking at these banners, but it is the fourth week of the starting the fourth week of the expansion now for this version. Gamble on the prayer supply thing. We already did our free pull, Asper. We already did our free pull. I'm advising for most players not to do this because this is just not. Just don't. You got the same thing. You got an SS Imagine on. I remember like one time actually. I think maybe back in like 2020 I did this. I did my free pull and I got like I got like 3 or 4 prayer slips as a refunded back to me as the reward, and then eventually I got like 60 crystals or something. And I was like, oh, okay. So sometimes you can get a little bit lucky, but chances are the majority of you, when you do your free pulls, it'll just be something like generic supplies. Just don't spend money on this unless you just like seeing your money disappear. I don't know what else to say. Go play chapter 40, you know, go play chapter 40 instead. You got 1 refund and an elf card. That's actually pretty good. Getting an elf card is basically like getting 150 crystals. So that's not bad, no please. Congrats. I feel like if you even get, if you on your free pull, if you get any of the supply cards or even the outfit coupons, that's generally a good thing, right? Because outfit coupons and supply cards have crystal value attached to them. Yeah. Alright, that's gonna conclude our little chat for Friday, for banner review and event overview. Make sure you do your login, get this free stuff. I know it's not that fancy, a lot of these materials you're gonna farm anyways, but you know, maybe your account's not as established, so free materials is free. And 2 focus cards, 1 here and one tomorrow and 1 on the 7th day. Go play chapter 40. I'm having a blast playing chapter 40. Go play chapter 40. I'll see you all on YouTube next time. I got a bunch of VODs I gotta do write-ups for and post them up. Yeah.